This is IFBB Figure Pro Heather Dees, and you are watching RX Television.
Welcome back. We're back from the break. That was Sarah LeBlanc, who's going to be doing the St. Louis Pro this coming weekend, defending her pro bikini title. And now we have our grand finale. Not one, but two men's physique pros in the studio, all the way from Puerto Rico. We have Lorenzo Orozco, and fresh off his Arnold men's physique victory, Sadik Hadzovic, delivering the goods. You came into the studio. Now I know you're not dieting. That's all right.
Yeah. Well, you caught me a couple weeks ago. I was cooking my fish.
You were.
So you weren't going to distract me from that.
No, even though you live around the corner.
Yeah.
Now, before I want to congratulate you, obviously, on the win, because this was a tough one for you. While Jeremy Bundy, who's the Olympia champ, wasn't in the lineup, Jason Poston and you have had some heated battles on stage. He beat you, you beat him at the Olympia. And, he felt that this was his show and he was going to take it. And we had you guys on the TV show before the Arnold, and he was, talking a little bit of smack. And you kind of kept your composure and you said, I'm going to let my physique do the talking. And it did.
Yeah. I mean, you've known me for a very long time. I never set out and say I'm going to win a show. I never say I'm going to beat the competition. I always say that I'm going to train as hard as I could. I'm going to make every meal perfect, every training exercise perfect. And I come in and I execute my game plan.
Now, let me ask you this question. I've seen you over the last 2-3 years, especially the last year and a half or so. You've put on a tremendous amount of muscle on your body. People don't realize it because your proportion is so good, but you have added muscle, and I've seen that the men's physique division has increased muscularity-wise. What do you think is going on here? Obviously, the judges were telling you more muscle. It was good. Why do you think they kind of boosted up what they were originally rewarding? Because I remember when you turned pro, what did you weigh? About 180 pounds?
179.
Yeah.
Yep.
So and now you're like in the 190s.
Yeah. I went up to 185 and then eventually 190. Now I'm almost 195. So I'm very glad they're rewarding more muscle because in the beginnings we only had a front and a back pose.
Right.
Okay. So you looked muscular and you looked full from both poses. But then in the pro division, they added the quarter turns and the side poses.
Right.
And then you would see all these guys at 170, 180 pounds, and they would disappear from the side.
You're right.
So what happened was we had to fill out with thickness. And you can only do that by putting on pounds of muscle.
I didn't realize that. You're right. They added the side poses. I completely forgot that. Now, when you look at this lineup and you watch yourself standing next to Jason Poston here, are you happy with the physique you brought to the stage? If you had to be super critical of yourself. Obviously, it was good enough to win, and some people, though, felt that your Olympia look was better. What do you think?
Well, I came into the show. Me and my coaches, we came up with a plan for 12 weeks, what we're going to do to win the show. And I feel like I executed exactly what we were supposed to do.
What was the plan?
We came in fuller, harder, more conditioned. So when people are saying that I didn't bring the same package as the Olympia, I didn't. I bring a better package.
Okay.
And the next Olympia, I'm going to bring a better package than this one.
Now, me being a big mouth and having to give you my opinion, I felt that you might have been a little flat, even though I felt you were bigger, if that's possible. You didn't think that you were a little maybe deflated at the prejudging? Well, there was only prejudging.
It's possible. It's possible. I was just so in the zone, man. You know. So, to be honest with you, I'm really happy with the package I bring. If you guys want to see a fuller, I know you and Chris Aceto have been talking about it. I watched the post show, and they said you wanted to Instagram Sadik.
Yeah.
So let me tell you something. In 23 weeks, you guys will see Instagram Sadik on stage.
You're coming in bigger.
Not bigger. Coming in better.
Fuller. Okay.
Better.
What do you weigh now? You look big. You look like a bodybuilder.
Right now I'm 214, which is my coach is keeping me at under 215.
You don't want to get
all
too heavy.
year,
Okay.
All year I'm going to stay at 215. Whereas I used to have off seasons where I was 240, 230.
Oh, you would get that
Yeah,
heavy.
I used to get that big, but then I had to cut 50 pounds before a show.
So they were
and
afraid
that's not always the best way.
Sure, your skin can
know?
get loose sometimes too when you do that.
And as Lorenzo knows, there's photo shoots and stuff, and they don't give you more than a week to prepare. So you got to be ready.
Now, you just recently, within the last several months, signed with GAT Nutrition. I know that you really were holding out for something that you felt comfortable with, something that you can relate to. Why'd you pick GAT?
Well, I love GAT. I've been using GAT for a long time. A lot of people, on the internet, are like, you don't use that stuff. I'm like, man, I really do use their products. I don't know what you're talking about. So it's kind of funny. I just smirk at it and laugh.
Yeah, of course.
So it's a company I believe in, and they believe in me.
Right.
So, I'm very happy about that union.
Mm-hmm. Now, you worked at Adam's store, Shredded RX. And is it true that Matt Acton was kind of the guy who got you into the idea of competing because you saw him competing?
Yeah, well, I met Adam and I asked him for a job. I was in college, and I used to spend all my money on supplements.
Did you really?
Every penny I had on supplements. So I was like,
Right.
you know what? This is awesome. I get to work with my friend, and I get to save money on supplements. And then I seen this guy, Matt Acton, and I seen this guy, and I see his veins and all these crazy. I've never seen somebody so conditioned before. And I go to Adam. I'm like, Adam, you think I could do that? He's like, yeah, dude. And then I was like,
it was that simple.
Yeah. And then I was like, all right, I'm gonna come after him. I'm gonna try to.
Like you were messing with him.
Not come after him in terms of I wanted to be something he was. In terms of the conditioning that he bring. It was freaky.
So you just tried it and you were that good at it?
I never ever dieted. I'd be the guy that eats a whole pie of pizza. McDonald's.
Sure.
And I would have abs and I'd look good. So Matt motivated me, man.
So now what was the first? Did you guys ever compete against each other, amateur?
Yes, we did. Yeah, our first show was 2011, the Brooklyn Grand Prix. I finished second. He finished third.
Wow.
Yeah,
so that was redemption for you. You beat him. Were you guys still working at Shredded RX?
I believe so.
I got to ask Adam what the hell went on in the store the next day on Monday morning. It must have been crazy.
I believe so. I remember it was my first show ever. I didn't even know anything, man. I remember the judge pulled me aside. He's like, hey. He's like, why don't you shave your body? I was like,
you didn't even shave? Oh, my God.
I didn't know. So I didn't know how to pose, but, it was something that I had immediate success at. And I knew if I stuck at it and I applied myself, I could go far. And I'm glad I did.
It's interesting because you and Matt stayed friends. You would think that the competition, because you guys were right there with each other, competing in the same shows. You're still competing in the same shows, but there's camaraderie there.
Yeah, not always.
No, really? There is some shit talking?
Always,
really?
Yeah, but, we're friends now. I just saw him a couple hours ago. Yeah, it's
You think he's pissed that you're winning shows and he's obviously still doing well.
No, he does very well for himself.
Yeah.
I'm very proud of him.
He's got his food business now.
Yeah, I'm very proud of him, and we all have our own journey. I'm not always going to be doing well, so I'm going to enjoy while I'm doing well now and have my friends that were with me in the beginning, and I always be faithful to them.
What do you need to do to beat Jeremy Bundy at the Olympia? Because I got to be honest with you, and I told you before that I didn't think you were your best. I thought the look you could have been fuller at the Arnold. I thought at the Olympia you had that. I said to me, this is the look. This is Mr. Olympia, and I was a little surprised when Jeremy beat you. What do you think you got to do to knock him out at the Olympia come September?
Well, to make my dream come true and to be the men's physique Olympia champion, I got to give 110% effort every single day. So I have very high standards for myself. I demand a lot from my training, from my diet, everything down to my sleeping. I'm very methodical in my training.
So you have everything methodically mapped out?
I have everything mapped out for the next 23 weeks.
Really?
And,
that's serious?
I think about it every day. Every single day I hear Bob Ciccarello's voice. And he's saying, the name I'm going to announce next is going to be the Olympia champion. And I play that in my head. And, all my workouts are supercharged. So I'm on the right track,
Well, I've seen you in the gym. You're a maniac in the gym. I stay out of his way because this guy's a lunatic. You train harder than any bodybuilder I've ever seen. I got to tell you, and I don't say that about many people because lately I've been watching guys in the gym train, and it makes me nauseous because no one trains hard anymore. But you certainly don't waste your time in that gym.
Well, I have urgency, and I know that right now I have a limited window of opportunity to make my dream come true. So when I'm in a gym, I'm there for an hour, 2 hours, and there's no rest. You know, I give everything that I absolutely have.
What do you think? We're looking at the Olympia now. What do you think cinched it for Bundy? What did the judges like about him at this Olympia? Do you think? If because I'm sure you've analyzed the films and the pictures and you know and try to figure out in your head maybe why you didn't win.
I have no comment
you don't know.
on that.
Okay.
I have no comment.
All right.
I have no
Fair
comment.
enough.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
you know, I have no comment because it's the judge's decision. It doesn't matter what I think. It doesn't matter what you think.
Sure.
It's up to the panel of judges, and the only thing that I'm responsible for is how I perform on that day. And, you know, is there things I could have done better? Possibly. You know, my posing is better now. The posing routine I had now at the Arnold is better than the Olympia one.
Absolutely.
So my stage presence was better. My nerves, I was more calm, you know. So I feel that every show I do, I'll get better and better. And I don't mind, you know. I got second is great, man.
Do you like the idea of this competition? Because it kind of motivates you. I would think if you were winning too easily, you might get lazy. But you got guys like Poston talking crap. You got to put him in his place. You got Bundy who beat you. That you got to put him in his place. That's tons of motivation right there.
Man, I'm motivated, man. You're gonna see, man. I can't wait to show you guys what I'm gonna bring to stage. You know, so it's great, man. I'm gonna take my time with it, and I'm gonna make sure that everyone's already talking about the package I brought last September, and I want to make sure that everybody talks about this package
as the best.
That wasn't even in the picture.
Right.
So that's my goal right now, is just to wow everybody once again in September.
Well, I'm looking forward to it, and I know you're going to do it. Are you going to be at FIBO in Germany?
Yes, I will. It'll be my first time in Germany. I'm looking forward to it.
I was there, I think, 2 years ago. Gat had an insane booth there, so I'm sure you're going to have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Let me go over to Lorenzo Orosco, who is you're looking very tan today. Have you been laying in the sun?
I came from Puerto Rico. And there's summer the whole year there.
Yeah, but you know, when it's summer here, I don't even go outside anymore. I'm so busy. But you actually work outside or lay in the sun and stuff like that?
You know, by the fact that I was coming to New York, you know, and I was going to be I'm shooting some stuff with Johnny, you know, I decided to look better, not like too white. People are going to say, bro, you live in Puerto Rico and you're so white. What happened to you?
How do you have the perfect, you know, the bearded, you know, the perfect shade on your beard? I mean, your beard looks perfect.
Well,
do you buzz it like that yourself?
Well, I have a trimmer and I fix
right.
it up. Sometimes I shave my face and I wait 2 weeks. And
what a head of hair this guy's got, huh, Sid?
You know, people don't understand. This guy's okay, and I didn't even know this when I first met him. He's 41.
I know.
There's no way a 41-year-old should look like
those
that.
Latin genetics, I'm telling you. You can't
Amazing.
beat it.
You know, I think by the fact that I've been training all of my life nonstop and taking care of myself, that's one of the key and what I have in my mind.
Well, certainly age has not caught up with you, but let me ask you this question. I know that you're here in New York training some people in the city. Are we allowed to talk about who those people are?
Yeah, I'm training. I've been training these days. Pablo Schreiber. He's getting ready to play a Navy SEAL in a new movie.
That's Liv Schreiber's brother?
Yes, in a new upcoming movie. It's going to be in Malta, and it's a Michael Bay movie.
Ah, Michael Bay, great.
He was in Puerto Rico training with me, and then he was doing his diet and his training program.
How'd you hook up with him?
You know, because we did a show called Lights Out in 2011 with Holt McCallany. He was playing his brother. I was
Holt,
playing
we had on the show
Cutman,
a month ago.
on the boxing show, and we met there. And he called me to go to Puerto Rico to start some training with me and spend a few days there.
That's awesome. Now, have you ever met Liv Schreiber?
No, not
I
yet.
love because I love Ray Donovan.
No, not yet. You know, I admire his career, and as an actor, he's a great guy, but not yet.
Because he works out too. He's in good shape. If
Yeah.
you've seen him in X-Men and stuff like that. And now, when you train with these stars, do they? You know, it's funny. It's weird because they're so popular in their own world, in the Hollywood world, and then they come and they work out. It's like you're the king here because you're the master. They got to ask you questions. How do you deal with that? I mean, them being a star, do you just kind of forget about it?
You know, yeah. You know, by the years, you know, I've been training with many celebrities, and on the set, as by the fact that I'm a stuntman, I've been working with many actors, and I treat them like relax. You know, they like that. There's people like us.
That looks so real when I watch you. You know, doing these stunts. You know, do you ever get hurt doing these things?
You know, I did a pilot like a month ago, and there was a ratchet scene. I was hitting a tree. I was doing the stunt double for the leading actor, and something changed in the precision of the ratchet, and I hit the tree bad, you know.
Oh,
but,
really?
but by the fact that I had a great condition, next day I was okay, and I was doing the rest of the scenes 100%.
Now that's the movie, I guess, with Colt
Yes.
Academy. Yeah, who was now you played his trainer in the movie?
Yeah, his cut man.
His cut man.
But
okay.
then that was in Puerto Rico on Tito Trinidad's gym, and we were doing some boxing training too.
That's awesome. Now, I see one of the scenes you were making out with a girl. How is it to? Because I always wanted to ask an actor this: when you have to do a movie kiss, how is it? Is there any romanticism there, or is it completely like a sterile environment?
You know what? The first time I did a kiss scene, I was so relaxed.
Right.
I was, kind of stressed because I don't want to lose the lines.
Of course.
But I was relaxed because you have to feel like it's real.
Right.
But when I was kissing her, it doesn't matter if she's beautiful or whatever she looks. You have to do the job, and I did it. And
Now you don't mess up and like slip the tongue in there or anything like that, right? 'Cause-
you know what? I don't even remember.
Oh, you don't remember?
I
She
just
didn't
kissed her.
complain though, right?
Yeah, that happens for sure.
Now, do you ever get can you get aroused doing that? Or is it just because it's just so orchestrated and choreographed?
What about the?
Aroused, get excited, almost like if you were with a real woman.
Well, if they have chemistry,
Yeah.
if they know each other, many things can happen.
And then has that happened to you in any of these scenes?
But I didn't have.
He's like, anyway.
I met the actress on the
Yeah.
set. Just okay, let's do the scene.
Yeah.
I didn't have not even a second to talk about with her first.
Right.
And we did it. Maybe that's the way. That's why I was so relaxed.
Oh, okay. Now, did you ever have a scene with a woman after that, and then there was chemistry, and you actually went on a date with them?
Absolutely, she's so beautiful.
Oh, really?
And I'm single. I don't have any problem to go out with her.
I like to hear that. I like to live vicariously through your exciting life, Lorenzo. Now you're going to be competing too at the New York Pro and the Pittsburgh
Yes.
Pro coming up relatively shortly. What is it? About
May
6
2nd
weeks.
and May 10th.
Okay. What's the goal here? I mean, what in your mind? What would you be happy with walking away with?
Absolutely, being there in my first pro show with the right posing, with better condition. Definitely, the judges gonna see a different Lorenzo, especially in the posing, which is something very, very important.
Do you watch this guy and try to emulate some of his? Because his posing is really good.
I'm training with Kenny Wallach, so tomorrow
is that your guy
actually
too?
I have an appointment with him at 11 a.m. on Montanari Brothers.
Okay.
And absolutely, I've been watching him since the beginning. He's a friend of mine, and he's an inspiration for everyone.
Right.
And right now, I'm lucky to be with Kenny Wallach.
Okay. I mean, you look great. Yeah, I can tell you're ready to get on. So you could probably get on stage tomorrow. Let's. You got abs? Let's lift the shirt.
Abs are not 100%,
Yeah.
but the rest
I'm
of the
sure they're
body
great.
is the rest of the body is getting.
Let's see. Since you got, I'm not gonna make you guys take your shirt off. Let's see a
can
double
do,
bicep. Stand up and let's see a double bicep from both of you
Look
guys.
at this. The RX pose down.
Yeah, let's see the right in the RX Muscle Studios live here. Sadik Hadzovic and Lorenzo Orosco. Let's see Gat versus me as we see, right?
For the books.
He's got the better tan.
This might be the only double bicep you guys ever do against each other. So
Now you know why I was.
look at Lorenzo stepping forward, trying to get a little
Look at
cheat on
that.
him. I think they're pretty evenly
that.
matched. I got to be honest with you. Johnny Styles, I know you got the Puerto Rican thing going on there, but who do you like better on the double bicep pose?
He was fuller, but I think Lorenzo has him.
He might be a little more ripped because he's dieting, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I'm close to the contest.
But you guys do have very similar physiques, as far as the arm development goes. This seems to be, Sadik, the men's physique look. They want arms, they want big cap delts, they want full pecs, right?
Tell everyone the same thing. I tell everyone they're looking for a great V-taper, awesome rounded deltoids, and a very thick chest.
How do you, I know you train hard, and you train your legs. Some of these guys don't train their legs. How do you keep your waist so small? Do you find that your waist grows a little bit when you're doing squats and heavy movements like that?
Absolutely does grow.
Really?
I think that it does. But the way I counteract it is I make everything else bigger.
So you make the delts bigger.
Make the delts
And
bigger, make the quads bigger, your
Gotcha.
waist looks smaller.
Okay, there you go. Do you think that it's important that men's physique guys train quads? Because even though you have board shorts on, there still is, you still see, it still creates a V.
I feel it's
An extra
important.
shape.
I mean, I don't know how these guys get conditioned if they don't train legs.
'Cause
I mean,
amps your metabolism, right?
exactly. And such a large muscle group, it's the greatest cardio you could do. So I love training legs. I don't know how they don't.
And they have to, because you need balance in the whole body, the lower back, the glutes. If you train the upper body all the time and forget about the legs, maybe you're gonna have you might have problems in the future.
Now, I don't know if any of you guys, I haven't checked. Who's supposed to be the man to beat at New York Pro now that you're not going to be in it this year? Do we know who's going to be in that show? Is Jason going in the show this year? We don't know.
I have no idea.
You're off to the Olympia, though, right?
I think Jason is going to do a Texas show at the end of the year.
All right.
But, there's great guys like Anton.
Antipov who's been cleaning
I hate
up.
to name New York guys, but it seems like New York is like... I was speaking to somebody the
You're
other
right.
day, and they said all these men's physique guys are coming out of New York. And
Why do you think that is? You would think California, right?
Right, exactly. The board shorts.
I would think so. I don't know, Lorenzo.
Well,
what do you think
I
that
hate to
is?
say this because I know it's going to be politically incorrect.
Yeah.
I think
Guys in the East Coast train harder.
I think this New York Pro is going to be like very difficult, very tough. Like the lineup is going to be like Olympia, like last year.
Yeah, like with minus him and Jeremy. Yeah. So we'll see. All right. Well, I want to thank both of you for coming down and joining the show. I appreciate you taking time out when you were busy and you were dieting to come on the show and promote it. But look, the sport of men's physique is resting, is teetering on we got to make it more popular. We want to make it more publicly acceptable. I think that men's physique will overtake bodybuilding if it hasn't already in the next 2 or 3 years as the most popular men's physique sport on the planet, because I think people can relate to a physique like yours. People look at you and say, I want to look like that, whereas they may look at like Ronnie Coleman and say, we don't want to look like that. And I think that the marketability and the ability for you guys to make money is going to increase exponentially over the next 5 years. So great job promoting the sport and representing it, and thank you for stopping by tonight.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you so much.
All right, Sid, we are out of time here. We have questions.
Oh,
Johnny,
it is.
how can we forget the questions? Give me the questions. Sadik, who is your favorite men's bodybuilder?
Kevin Levrone.
Kevin Levrone. Good choice.
Should men physique have at least one bodybuilder?
All right, a lot of people are asking this. I have asked this in the past. Should men's physique competitions have a bodybuilding pose, like maybe a front double bicep or an ab pose? Do you think that they should try to incorporate that somehow? You got no problem with it, right?
I have no problem.
Yeah,
I hope they do.
I think to put more excitement on the show, what about from double bicep?
I love it. I think it'd be great, especially
They can show
Yeah.
the quality. Like,
Look, what? Everyone says no, and then I've seen this happen a million times. And then the sport evolved. They said no to figure. There'll never be figure. Fitness, we're going to keep no figure, and then figure came up. So, you never know. I think it would be a nice idea. It would add more excitement. It would make the show last a little longer, but I think it would be much more exciting to hit final pose, front double bicep. Next question, Johnny.
Is there any other plans after the Olympia if you win?
If you win the Olympia, will you do any shows after that, like the European tour, if they have any men's physique events?
Yeah,
You will.
absolutely. And I also want to defend my Arnold Classic title.
Really? You will be
Yeah.
back in
Oh,
Columbus.
yeah. My mom had a plane ticket, but the snow was very bad here.
She missed it?
She missed it. So I promised her that, don't worry, Mom. I'm going to do my best to win next year. So I got to invite her back, and I got to do what I did.
That's very bold of you. A lot of guys, if you win the Olympia, a lot of once people win the Olympia, they don't want to do anything else. But you will compete twice a year.
Why?
All
Why
right.
wouldn't they do it?
Guys don't like the
did
diet.
it. She, the bikini girl, Ashley,
That's true.
she won the Olympia, then she won the Arnold.
Right.
I would love to do it.
All right, we'll see. Next question, Johnny.
His favorite cheat meal?
What is your favorite cheat meal? I know you obviously allow yourself to have a cheat meal once in a while. What would you eat if you had to pick the ideal cheat meal?
I always go with hamburgers, but my favorite foods of all time is lasagna and French toast.
That's
Yeah.
a weird combo.
Yeah.
I guess you go to the diner, I guess, to get that,
Yeah,
right?
man. You go to any diner, they'll hook it up in New York. That's a great thing about New York.
Lorenzo, what's your favorite cheat meal?
well, hamburgers from Shake Shack.
Shake Shack hamburgers.
But I call we have a joke. I call the hamburger a double Johnny cheeseburger
Why do you call it that?
because this year
Yeah.
I improved. Like I did a real off season, 215. Normally I'm 195.
Oh, you never get out of shape normally.
Yeah, normally 185. But this year I did the right thing. And when I was doing the contest, I was competing, putting clean carbs. But this is
Gotcha.
the first time the first time that I put grease on me. And he bring me the
Oh, Johnny took
So
you
it's
there.
Johnny.
Yeah,
Johnny
yeah.
Styles, exactly.
yeah, and then we call it
It's actually the Palumbo technique. That Johnny learned it from me, but Johnny has perfected it way better than I ever
we
did.
name
Believe
it
me.
the double Johnny cheeseburger, something like that.
Next question.
Why did Sadik decide to cut his hair, and does he like it better?
Why did you cut your hair? I always wondered that too. And do you like it better shorter?
I have no preference. I just wanted some change.
It grew back a little. You've let it come back a lot.
I've grown it back. I got a hair appointment tomorrow.
You got a
Gotta
cut
short
again? Really?
Yeah.
Are the judges telling you they like that better?
No.
Clean cut? No, that's just you.
It's just I decided to do it. That's it.
He's like Madonna. He likes to be a
Whatever I
trendsetter.
want.
That's it. All right. We're out of time. No more questions. Thank you all for tuning in. This was a great episode of the Heavy Muscle TV show. If you missed it live, the replay will be up in minutes after the show. Until next week, I think next week, so we're going to take a week off because I'll be in Germany.
Yes.
But the week after that, Iron Debate will return. And we have some very special guests planned. Guests you would never believe. Guys, have a good night. And remember, with the... Well, you know, I wanted to bring up one more thing. I did remember something.
I was thinking he's something on your mind.
Something
He's
was
like,
on my
you're
mind.
itching. You have to get it out.
I can't.
Can't wrap the show without that.
I want to bring up Arnold Schwarzenegger for a minute. I'm sorry. I was going to end the show, but I got to bring up Arnold Schwarzenegger because I know there's a YouTube video out there, and we've talked about this before. Arnold Schwarzenegger is kind of putting out a call to arms for the bodybuilding division to kind of revamp itself,
Right.
and reinvent itself with smaller waists and more tapered, physiques. I want to ask Sadik this question because do you feel that the men's physique division has inspired people to say, hey, why can't the bodybuilders come back to that same V-tapered look that the men's physique guys have, only with more muscle?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I love men's physique, but if you look at somebody like Frank Zane, Frank Zane was relatively my size.
He was the first men's physique guy, really.
He wasn't 300 pounds. He wasn't 250, so...
He was probably your weight.
I think
in the
he was a
190s.
little less than me, actually. Yeah, if I recall, I read somewhere he was 180 something. And
so do you think that Arnold has it right that we should maybe reevaluate the physiques that are being rewarded? Because what he says is if you reward the physiques that have better aesthetics, then all the competitors will try to look like that rather than trying to get too big maybe and throwing off the symmetry of the bodies.
well, Phil Heath has aesthetics. He
True,
looks
but even he's been pushing the limit because he feels he needs to keep up with the Kai Greens out there. And I felt that maybe he might be pushing his physique too much, maybe trying to add too much muscle. Because bodybuilders, we have this mentality that you can never be too big, but you can. And I think that's what men's physique really limits that, because you have to have a symmetrical, balanced look on stage.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think about that, but I'll have to think about it and let you know.
Food for thought. Guys, we're out of time. See you next week.